Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I just wanted to give you a quick live for basically my YouTube. I feel like I neglect you guys sometime. So I just want to bring you some content, especially for you guys. I'm going to start bringing some just special Facebook content. And what I wanted to talk about today is in this economy, as we see the interest rates have actually been dropped to zero. I'm adjusting my light, y'all. This is crazy. It's mad bright. But what is going on in the market? You will start to see the interest rates begin to change. So the Fed already dropped the interest rate to zero. So if you are looking to get a home or begin to invest in real estate as an investor, especially if you want to pivot and go through FHA and different ways on how to invest, now is the time to do it. Now is the time for you to get your credit together and start leveraging credit. When it comes down to the interest rates, usually what happens when the Fed, it is really quantitative easing. That means they're going to put more money into the system, meaning they're going to print more money in the system. And what they're trying to do is encourage the banks to lend out, to do more lending. They don't want banks to really to hold on, and they also drop the requirements of what they need to hold for liquidity at the Federal Reserve. So they're encouraging the banks to lend out to number one, businesses, small businesses. If you're looking to go into business, you should start to get yourself established. One way that you need, peace under you, brother, too. Thank you for tuning in with me today. Um, you want to start focusing on putting your financial house in order to begin to pivot so you can lend as a LLC, some kind of business entity. And I've been saying this for a long time, you guys. I know you have a lot of people that's talking about FICA 10. They're telling you about how they're going to look at debt differently. But one thing they don't tell you a lot on how is that going to operate on the business side. I constantly tell you guys right now, don't get over engulfed in your credit score being, an 850, 800. Start to focus on your credit profile. So, what I'm saying is, you want to get yourself personally to a 680 credit score. And when you get to that 680 credit score, you want to start uh, actually, instead of getting liabilities, you want to start pivoting yourself to go for assets. A great way, if you're looking to invest, is to establish a business. And instead of chasing the net 30 accounts, you get your credit score to a 680, and then you can begin to what actually you can post your credit up. And it's not that, it's called what's a personal guarantee, meaning I if this debt doesn't get paid by the business, I'll pay it back. I'm financially responsible that I'll be on the line for that. But that's just temporary. What it's going to do is give you access to larger credit amounts that won't be reported on you and your credit score directly. It will operate under the business line of credit. And little that people really know, when you're dealing in business credit, they'll give you a larger amount. So let's say if a person who's just coming in newly, they don't have a lot of credit history, and they get a credit card. It might only be for $500, $300. But for a business, it could be quite different if your credit score is in that 680 range. If you personally guarantee it, because it's a business, you might from the door get 5,000 credit line, 8,000 credit line, 10,000 line of credit, and unsecured credit. So what you can do from that point, if you have an unsecured line of credit like a credit card, then this will create for you to have uh, to be able to invest in your business more or invest in certain real estate assets, because now if you uh, run high utilization on that $10,000 credit card, it's not harming you personally. The banks don't report that to you personal, to your personal side. So this is going to be a great way to step around FICA 10T coming in, where now they're going to really aim in on what your debt looks like. So if you get a new personal loan, that is going to count heavily on FICA 10T. So all these people that want to take out a personal loan to pay off credit cards, that's going to be a negative impact when it comes down to personal debts, like taking out new car loans, things like that. When you're upping your debt on your business, on your credit side. But if you can pivot and start to access business credit, that won't report at all. So you'll have the avenue of using that to create liquidity for yourself, or to create as a means of raising capital, or being able to invest in your business. And I say liquidity because there are certain cards where you can take a cash advance. Yes, the interest rate might be higher, but if you're buying something or you're investing in something that's going to bring you revenue, it might be worth your while to do that, to get your hands on the capital that you might need to invest in your business, or to put down on a real estate investment. But when it comes down to um, even if you're getting a house in your own personal name, you're looking to get a house with, like I said, we're gonna go with bad credit or trouble credit. Um, there's many ways that even now in this economy, it's always, you can invest in raw land. If you have your own land, which depending where you're buying that raw land at, and you can control the raw land and have the land, you can turn around and post that land to the bank, and the bank will be willing to work with you to give you funding onto building and developing that piece of land. Maybe you're looking to buy your own private house, or for you and your family. This could be a good way for you to get in, because if you can, depending on your region, which especially if you're not living in a region where come from, live New Jersey, the Northeast, California, some of those other places. But in the South, you can get an acre, a half acre, reasonably cheap. You might can get it for $2,000, $7,000. You know, if you can control that property and own that property, then you can go to the bank and have something to post, because the bank know if they lend you the $60,000 to build this house on this land, now this land is developed. The bank will have a lien, and they can come back and probably turn around, if they take that house away from you, sell it instead of for the 60,000 for 160,000. So they will be able to have equity in that just by you building and developing the land. Also, there's different ways where if you're looking to get a home or to invest in real estate, you're a first time home buyer, I preach it all the time, FHA is a great way to do that. FHA doesn't focus on your credit score, more or less, A lot of times you can't have any items, any debts, like collections, tax liens. That's just across the board, because what the bank will be concerned about is someone coming to put a lien on that property. But if everything is clear and you have trouble credit, you might even have a 580 credit score. Long as you have the income, FHA will lend to you. It's a government backed program that is encouraging home buyers. That might be your way of jumping into the real estate game. Because look at myself. That's how, excuse me, you guys, my nose itch. I'm sorry, I don't want to be rude. But the way I was able to invest into real estate, I went through the door of FHA. That was the first way I got my home instead of going through a conventional loan. You know, it requires very little money down. So when I first purchased my house, it was like 169,000, and I had to put down 3.5%. So that was $6,500 that I had to put down in order to qualify. Instead of a conventional loan, sometimes they want 30%, 20% down of the value of the property. But I was able to just put down 6,500 down. But then I had to pay for the closing costs out of my pocket. So it brought the total up to 12,000, close to 13,000 that I had to come out of pocket. But through my experience, I can tell you, instead of you picking up that cost, you can go to the seller and have them to pay for the closing costs. So you wouldn't have to pick up the other 6,000. They can roll that into the price. So you might be willing, instead of paying, like with me, I said 69,000. Maybe go ahead and pay 72,000, 172,000. I'm sorry, it was 169,000. Instead of paying 169,000, pay 173,000. So when you're paying that over time, it might even not cost you out of your pocket if it costs you $15, and you can pay it over the long term. But the seller will pick up the cost at closing. So all coming in. But it gave me the opportunity not only to acquire my first real estate property where I was able to live in the home and had the home totally paid for by my tenants, my mortgage being paid for. So it also at this point generate me income. So now it's a passive income source for me. So it was one of the best decisions that I ever made in my life by going through FHA and obtaining my first home being a multifamily property. So this is an avenue if you have troubled credit. If you got the income, you can get a home through FHA. So a lot of people, especially in the credit repair industry, they'll say, "Oh, in order for you to buy a home, you need to da 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 da. Your credit score got to be here." Now that plays a part when you might come down to the interest rate, but right now you're dealing at a interest rate that is very low. So now would be the time to invest and to get a real estate property. I say an income producing property, especially when we look at the times. You have to start thinking about it. The airlines is having, they're actually are taking a loss. So they say, even though they've been charging us all these years for these bags, and you know, they didn't give us any concession. They're sitting on millions and billions. But the key is the way that business always look at when they start dropping in some profits, not meaning that they're going broke. They're just going to cut at the lower level, and that is jobs. So if you're depending on that job for a pension, then what would happen if they lay people off? What would happen like back in the day when I think it was American Airlines, United Airlines, so that a lot of companies that went out of business. It wasn't United. I think it was one of the airline companies actually went out of business. And when they did, people lost their pensions. You know, Revlon had that. They actually filed for bankruptcy. And then people lost their pensions. So you need to start considering your future now. Invest in your future. I'm in my early 40s. I'm not looking for the government to take care of me. I'm not looking for Social Security or a pension. I'm investing in my future now. I understand I work for myself, so I have to start investing in my future. But I fear a lot of people are so dependent on the stock market. They're so dependent on a pension, a 401k plan to take care of them. But when you're dealing in the stock market, as you can see now, a lot of people pensions are taking a beating. So imagine if you're a person who have retired right now and you have money invested in the stock market. You have some companies or some people that lost $90,000 overnight in their investments. So what is their financial situation going to look like over these troubled times that we're facing? Because even if the coronavirus pass on, it doesn't mean that the uh, the economy is going to recover at the same rate. So I don't like to speak doom and gloom, but what I would like for people to do is be aware and start investing in your own self. Invest and get the conversation going. Get get your mind set differently. Take more responsibility. Don't think or worry about for the government how they're going to take care of your family. You grab the bull by the horns and you begin to take care of your family. So I will be dropping a book. Actually, I'm working on a book now. It's almost ready on how to a quick guide on how to to buy a home with bad credit, because there's many ways. There's you know, investing in the mobile home, manufacture homes is another way where you can acquire home ownership for very little. And like I said, if you go ahead and get yourself, or if you already have a piece of raw land, you can always take a manufacture home and put it there. And then if you seed it, you put a foundation, it becomes a real home. So you can create equity really quickly for yourself by making the right moves. But what I suggest in these times, find a way that if you are buying a home, making an investment, make sure something is going to generate you revenue. Make sure that you're good. Make sure that you're secure. Make sure that your family is secure. So I want you guys to continue to think forward. And thank you so much for tuning in, Casey. I appreciate it. I appreciate every one of you guys for tuning in. And you said, it said, I hope all is well. I'm in the process of having my home built. Should be ready by July. Do you think the interest rate will be good? Yes, I do. I think that you're coming in on a great time for it. And who knows? Begin to start to talk. I don't know if you have a construction loan or are you going for a construction loan, but now would be an excellent time to start investing to get a mortgage, to lock in these rates while they're really low. But don't neglect the part of making sure you have the cash flow. So we want to also always be working on having the cash flow in order to pay for these things. So also look into starting your businesses, or if you are building a home, I know not everybody think it's popular. Is it possible to do a duplex? Is it possible to do a multi-unit so you're not paying for your mortgage yourself? I never, ever, in my 20 years of ownership, ever carried my mortgage myself. And I never, even when I had an apartment, except one time before, right before I bought my home, which I bought my home at the age of 21. After that, I never paid for rent out of my own pocket. Either one of my tenants paid for me. I never paid for rent out of my own pocket when I had to go and get a apartment temporarily because I had a job change. But my tenants paid for my rent. So um, the high cost of rent in some of these areas, a lot of people would be better off by owning. But you want to make sure you own it the right way. And like I said, I'm a big advocate for a multifamily. That should be your starting point. You know, sometimes people got to make sacrifices in life. Then you can move to your single family home when the multifamily is paying for your mortgage on your single family. So that's always been my motto. Like I said, at the age of 19, people might have heard me before. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that's how I just based my life. So I had two multifamilies paying for my bills. I was a single mother, so I needed to create another stream of revenue, and to be able to, take care of my children, to be at home with them, and not work myself in the ground and generate revenue. So I found real estate was the best passive revenue that I had. So to this day, I never regret it. And I always made good money. And God knows, Trump in this new tax code for real estate investors, I, I ain't mad at him. I know a lot of people hate his guts, but it's because a lot of them is on the wrong side of the coin. So if you're on the coin where I am, I got some extra money back. I can't. It's hard to be mad at somebody putting money in your pockets. So that's why it's the way that people see things. All I know is I don't go with political whatsoever. I look at policies and I see what policies benefit me. I'm a business owner. So when you are looking at things on that side of a coin, unfortunately, a lot of working class people don't understand when you own a business, that whole Republican base, a lot of moves, it always promote business owners to see the benefit because they have to get out the mindset of working for their money, exchanging time for money. You have to get into more of an investor mindset because it's hard to make the rich pay taxes. They don't work for their money. It's just going to be a hard way to go to catch them because this is the thing. If they're creating your product, and let's say the toilet tissue craze, all they're going to do if they got to pay more taxes is pass that down to you. That's just what business is. They're just going to charge you more. So either way it goes, they're going to pass that cost down to you. So it's very hard to make them pay taxes because they don't work for their money. When you have a job, they're taking out your money, your taxes from the door, payroll taxes from the door. You don't see that money. And then at the end of the year, they'll tell you, you owe us more money. How is that possible? You've been taking my money the whole time. But it's not illegal, you guys. It's the tax code. And it's just, that's what it is. You can play the same game, but a lot of people are just, they'd rather be entertained than educated. That's just what it is. They don't want to put in the work. And it's just like you got to put in the work by tuning your mind into other realms. Not loving hip hop, not all the latest rims on your truck and all the other nonsense that people do. You have to focus and get more business mindset, adapt a business mindset, a financial mindset. So I'll listen to Warren Buffett all day, or I'll listen to Robert Kiyosaki all day. I invest in silver and gold. Those are my investments. I'm not right now. When I heard that banks hedge their money with gold, I start hedging my money. I start stacking. So, when you really start learning how the system works and how your purchasing power is going down, your dollar is going down, savers are losers now, you have to begin to change your mindset. A lot of people problem is they want to be like everybody else. They want to fit into the norm. And if you're doing what everybody else do, you're going to get the results that everybody else have. Okay? So, if everybody's drowning and they're in the river and they're drowning, and you like, well, I want to be like everybody else, I want to drown, and you jump in the river, don't be surprised when you're drowning with them. You know, you got to do something different. You need to, instead of people hating, uh, uh, really hating the rich, you need to start to find out what are they doing. And the number one thing they tell you, they try to limit their taxes. That's the key. That's the key. You want to play Monopoly, y'all. That's how Monopoly works. Me and my kids, I made them play Monopoly, and we started playing Monopoly. And the thing that killed me in the game, I kept getting hit every time I passed go, landing on that $200 taxes. Taxes will eat you alive, and this is what they're taxing you out of your check. Every time you get a check, your money go into taxes. Me myself, I work for myself. Taxes don't come out of my payment. I get money, it's tax free. But I tell them at the end of the year what I owe them or what my gains was. And if I owe them money, then I pay them. If I don't owe them money, I get money back. Figure that one out. Not paying taxes. That's the system. It's just so unfortunate. You might not pay in the system, but get money out the system. As a business owner, that's the tax code. And it's hard for people to grasp. I tell my friends, what? That's how it works. And it's sad. It's really sad because I have friends that's single parents. I have girlfriends that really is, and like you're saying, life is a big game of Monopoly. And that's the whole facts of it, you guys. The one that control the power company, the electric company, and the water company, and monopolize win the game. That buy the block, that gentrify, buy Baltic Avenue, Meridian, and then build it up. That was once your ghetto, and gentrify it, they win the game. And as you go around the board and keep landing on these things, if you don't have investments, if you don't have assets, you're going to be broke. Your money is going to run out real quick. And just getting past go, getting a paycheck, trying to make it around the board, you're going to see pretty soon that's not going to help you. And that's the same thing, you guys. You just have to start to learn about this. So I hope this is helpful to people. I really do. Because my heart goes out to people. Because these are my family members. But sometimes it's really hard to explain these things to people without people going into anger, getting into politics. They so busy with the pom-poms on either which side that they can't, and they don't even know that's just political theater. They're all friends. They're all homies. And they do that to you. They make you play good cop, bad cop. They play your mindset. And you got to be able to sit back and look at, like, wow. I look at what Bernie Sanders got going on. How Bernie losing all of a sudden? How's that possible? But when you understand, and I know a lot of people going to get mad, but the Obama administration, with a lot of y'all with that student loan debt, is the reason why you want to keep that student loan debt. Because, see, before that intervention, Private student loans you could bankrupt off, but they made it federal, all student loans. And the reason why Bernie Sanders, felt that is not getting in, they ain't going to let y'all go off that student loan debt. Because all this spending, who going to pay it back? You. That's why you can't get them off. They're banking on you. They got the noose around your neck, and they ain't going to let you go. So it's a sad thing when people reach out to me about their student loan debt. I'm like, it's just really not much you can do. They're not going to let you bankrupt it off. And you can thank the Obama administration for that. When it was private student loans, you can bankrupt that off. But they changed that. So you got to really just review everything. You got to look at everything. You know, people saying, oh, well, we going to get a check. You know, hopefully if we get the stimulus package, a family get $1,000 or an adult get $1,000, not including if it's children. If you haven't did what you financially should have did responsibly, all your money is going right back into the system. Now, I've been preparing, so now I'm going to take that money and I'm buying me land. I'm going to invest if I get that check in my hand. I'm going to invest if I don't get that check in my hand. It don't really matter. I'm going to get my 40 acres and a mule. But and you say, yeah, Obama messed us up, and it's like this. I'm not just trying to, like, you know, I don't want to blame, you know, people, so that I want y'all to think that I'm just saying, but I just say, you know, there's some of us, a demographic, I'm African American, and we'll champion, just go hard body for a certain, you know, a certain political party. But you gotta look around, look at our neighborhoods, look at what policies are those policies making our community better? Are those policies doing that? You know, a lot of them forget. My father almost had a meltdown when I said, well, you do know George Wallace. He's from the South, from Jim Crow, Alabama. George Wallace was a Democrat. What are you saying? You got to pay attention. It's not about the party. It's about the policy. What are they kicking for you? So that's the way I look at it. I could call BS on either side because I ain't got a pony in a race. That's the way I stand. I ain't got a pony in either race. I'm looking at what policy benefit, number one, African Americans. That because that's what I am. So I got to be concerned about that. My family is African American. Other people are not coming to the table without nothing. You know, if you're Hispanic, they got their representation there asking questions. And I want to ask questions, and they're talking about things for immigration and what's going to better their people. But we want to come to the table about hairdos. What can I wear? Dreads. What is that doing for our community? I mean, I'm just saying, somebody ask me. Somebody tell me. Because it be nonsense to me. Oh, now we can wear our hair the way we want to. What is that doing for you economically? That's just crazy. It'd be crazy to me. What is that doing? Why don't we talk about these reparations? Joe Biden don't believe in reparations, neither do Obama. Did y'all not know that? Do nobody have a problem with that? I'm just saying. Nobody don't care about that? Because with 400 years plus during the Reconstruction period, we weren't able to participate. Our forefathers wasn't able to participate in opportunities. And I know certain demographics get annoyed when somebody talk about it, but it is what it is. So you can get mad or whatever. It is what it is. And I tell you why. On my father's side, they were mulatto. And right now, his father, because of the white lineage, left 74 acres of land. That on my black side, my mother black side, my father black side, ain't had nothing because of Jim Crow laws where you couldn't get nothing. You couldn't participate. So just that drop of white blood got him 74 acres of land when other people ain't getting nothing. So if you're going to tell me that white privilege didn't play a part, the devil is a liar. That's a lie. That's a lie. So when you have people of generations, both parents and grandparents, and you come from that lineage, wasn't able to participate, or when they went even out of those Jim Crow was over, you couldn't get loans, you couldn't get whatever. How we gonna pick ourselves up by the bootstraps is what we tell. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps is what they tell you. So what I'm trying to tell, especially African American people, we don't have time to play these games that we playing. Our wealth is going down to zero. And when we look at the mindset and what's being promoted and what is called our culture is teaching us to get foolishness, cars, get whips, spend money on popping bottles, and a all host of nonsense that's out there. We promote putting money to our ear instead of taking that money and putting it into an investment. But what happens is, what they don't really see, that same one telling you putting money to their ear is selling you a product, which is called music. And they getting money while you getting broke, while you ain't getting nothing but poverty, while you getting gunshots are ringing around your ear. That's what so they marketing you. They selling Fashion Nova, they clothing to you. They got a product. And what they ain't telling you what to do, some of them do, you need to invest. You need to this. But my God, how we love the foolishness. How we want to put the money in our head. How we want to get the whip. But you don't want to get no property in your name. But that ain't fly. I get the crickets when I talk about that. Oh, let's go to the white party. Lord Jesus, if I see another white party on a boat with some linen, come on, let's stop it. Why don't we do an investment party? Why don't we talk about that? I get the crickets. Nobody ain't got time for that, Sharif. Nobody don't want to hear it, Sherry. Nobody don't want to hear it. Nobody don't want to hear it. We want to talk what Future doing. What Future, what Past doing, what Drake doing, what this one doing. Are you serious? And most of us is wearing our wealth. That's where all your money is wearing your wealth instead of investing your wealth. So it got to have a change in the mindset. Our culture got to be beyond stunting and balling. We got to get past that. We got to do something to think about where our baby's going to do. Where is my children going to have a place to go? Am I going to have land to leave for my children? And stop being so self-absorbed. Start learning how to work together. Start having a mindset. Even as the male and female, I get so sick of this. All these relationship battles posts. Oh, if a man love a woman, and if a woman love the man, and why y'all are... Come on, you're fighting amongst one another. That just don't even make no sense. You hard pressed to see me talking about, well, why can't I find love? Well, maybe you need love in you. Because if you keep coming up against foolishness, maybe foolishness is in you. Maybe that's the question. Because I know I ain't going to break bread with a brother that is foolish. And we sure ain't jumping in the bed together. And then you want to blame that person. Well, he was never no good, and he treated me. What is you dating that same dude right now with a different name? What are you talking about? He only did what the last dude did, or she only did what the last female did. Well, she don't care about nothing but money, and she a gold digger. Apparently you like him. That's all you pick up. And the sister that talks sense, you don't want to get with her. Or, oh, she wearing this. You following all the chicks with the eyelashes, looking crazy and all these superhero wigs. You're following them. Lord God, the Powerpuff Girl wigs. Those are the ones you following. Those are the ones you DMing. And you wonder why you get foolishness. You wonder why your baby mama is foolish. Because somewhere that foolishness is in you. You got to address you. As Jay-Z said, if nothing else, you got to live with yourself. You got to live with yourself. You had to slow down. That's why if I got with a fool, I had to look at me. You know what? That person is a fool. What I had to do with a fool like that, I had to check myself. I couldn't make any excuses. I ain't go for no child support. No, I had to say, you know what? I want to take this L. I had a baby with a fool. You know, I had some kids with a fool. You know what? Let me just get it going. Because I did this to me. I did this to me. But everybody want to be the victim. Everybody want to be the victim. Well, they didn't. No, you did that to you. Because nobody ain't hook you up. Nobody ain't tell you go out to dinner with a dummy. I'm just saying, that's just what it is. Somewhere in there, you got to love Jones for a dummy. And you need to figure out, why am I connected? Is dummy in me? Is dummy in me somewhere? Because what I even had to commune with that. Something had to get right. I had to look at myself like, hold on. Let me fix what I'm doing. That person doing what they do. But if I ain't that, what am I doing? We couldn't talk on certain levels. What was I doing? Then that's where we defer. That's what's going to happen. I'm about getting money. You about nonsense. So eventually we going to go your own way, because you ain't going to mess up my money. One thing you not going to do is mess up my bread. That's who I am. You ain't going to mess up my bread. The day my money ain't getting right, and God knows some people better than me. They outdoors, had a male or female put them outdoors, and they put me out there. No, baby, you put you outdoors. That's who put you outdoors. You did. Because you was committed to doing business or laying up with a fool. Now, I ain't committed to that. To death do us part, but foolishness will do us part way quicker than that. I ain't doing it. Now, but everybody else can be alone. One is the loneliest number, but -2 is even worse. Because if you got a fool and you a fool, that's 2, and you want to be negative. I'm good. So this is what we got to do. We got to get more financially set. Got to pivot yourself financially to put your family in a better position. Looking for how am I going to invest. I know it's great to have a home, but maybe you need to generate some income. Maybe you need to take that L and start off with being a landlord. Maybe you should do that. It'll qualify for you a lot more if you got some income with that home. I'm just saying it's going to put you in another income bracket. So I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a blessed day. Enjoy.